Oh, sorry. That's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to... what the heck is going on? Whoa, what do we got going on here? All right, give me a second. It's been a while since I've done this. Yeah. What the heck is going on? All right. Give me one. It's been a while since I've had to do this, and new software. Oh boy, that's a great way to start the show. For those that don't know, I'm Jersey Joe, and you got it on the Reaver of Common Sense. I had the show going for a while, and then life got in the way between health and personal and family life. Some things went to shit, and yeah, I had to take the show down for a little bit, and I kind of kept delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying. Oh, I don't know if I want to come back. And my wife kept yelling at me. Of course, she always yells at me. And I kept seeing the shit that has been going on over the last couple of years. And it just, when I put my show on hiatus, Trump was president. I think he was getting ready for re-election. And I thought we're doing pretty good. I mean, there was some stuff that was going on that really was getting on my nerves. Seems like I was going over the same stuff every single day, same stuff over and 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 over again. And it kind of burned me out too. But like I said, mostly it was my health. Since then, besides, for those that don't know, my background is I was an EMT firefighter. When I turned 16, I jumped on a fire truck. Turned 18, 19, jumped on the ambulance, became an EMT. On and off, on and off, on and off, but I ended up making it my career. I moved down to Florida. I messed my back up pretty good. And pretty much had to retire. Well, since then, I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, high blood pressure, diabetes. Diabetes, I think, is the weight gain. I became a little bit of a fat fuck. Hey, at least I can admit it. That I hey, I is what I is. I'm not afraid to call myself that. I'm trying to pull the weight back off. It went back. I got it down. And one of the biggest factors that really screwed me up for a little bit was October of 22. My father got diagnosed with bladder cancer, but we were told it's nothing to worry about. Simple surgery, maybe a little chemo. Well, time kept going on. I think it was February. Because January, I think it was like about 27th, my German Shepherd passed away. And that was a Sunday. We knew he'd been doing a little rough. Hips were bothering him real bad. He wasn't acting that good that day. We went over to my parents' house, and he didn't want to go, which was strange. And he didn't want to get up off the floor. I was like, hey, he's probably hurt today. Just let him chill. So, long story short, we came home. He's gone. Well, that was the Sunday. The Wednesday, my dad had a surgery where they were supposed to remove the cancer. The surgeon comes out, walks in the room. We couldn't remove it all. We can't remove the bladder. My dad was shot back in 81. He's got massive scar tissue. He's got about 6 months to a year to live. Have a nice day. So that kind of got dumped on me and my mother. And from there, I took over. I don't want to say took over, but I went to all the doctor's appointments. I coordinated the medical. Oh, camera. There we go. And long story short, again, too late. July, he passed away. July 2nd. He was home in his bed, and he wasn't conscious, and he passed away. So I started, I went into a depression. I started eating, really, really kicked myself in the ass for that, and I put the weight back on. But my wife's been yelling at me because I've been yelling at the TV with all the bullshit that's been going on. I don't understand what's going on out there. I don't understand. And it's not just, you'll hear me say a lot about the liberals and the Democrats, but the Republican Party, they're a bunch of pussies. It's either that or they're just a bunch of turncoats. You got too many that are not willing to fight. They bend over like a prostitute in a whorehouse. I mean, they're constantly bending over for the Democrats and never fighting. There's a handful here and there, but for the most part, I'm really getting fed up with the Republican Party. They got to do something major. Yeah, let me fix this. They got to do something major, or I'm going to go out on a line here. After Trump's elected and his presidency is done, according to who runs again, I'm probably going to leave the Republican Party. They have no balls, and don't give me this shit about the party of Reagan. The Republican Party hasn't been the party of Reagan in decades. Oh, the other thing is I don't sleep that much. Either I sleep too much or I don't sleep. And one thing you got to learn is I will jump topics. My mind goes that way. I wish I had some sound clips already. It is the first show back. It's going to give me a little bit to really get back into the thick of things. But we ended up getting, we have 2 new puppies, and we have our 15-year-old Yorkie Poo. I love the little shit, but he's going downhill. He's got arthritis, He still a smile on his face. You could tell he has a smile on his face. Going blind. I watched him walk into a sliding glass door the other day. I don't think he's 100% blind, but you could tell he's got cataracts, and he just walked in and just, and he looked at me like, what'd you do that for? But we got I think he's like 7-8 month old, bear with me, Pomeranian Shih Tzu with a little pug. Now this little bastard, I love him to death. He actually is the one We got him, and I was still reeling from my father's death. And he's the one that brought me out of it. And it's amazing how something simple, the love that little shit can give. And he's too cute for his own good. But the problem that we had with him being a puppy, he wanted to play. And he kept going after our 15-year-old. Not vicious, but trying to play. And he can't. He wasn't nasty. He sat there, he took the abuse, but he couldn't deal with it anymore. So, long story short, we found another. I know I keep saying that. We found another puppy. And it's a toy poodle mixed with something. And he almost looks like our Yorkie poo. So I have those two. And this morning, my wife gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. I had just gone to sleep about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And it's not uncommon for this little shit Pomeranian pug Shih Tzu. His name is Kane. Because, well, he raises Kane. And he does. He raises Kane in a good way. So we named his brother, the other one that we got, Abel. So we got Kane and Abel. But Kane comes running up a lot of mornings. And I'll fall asleep on the couch all the time because I'm fat. I snore. My wife works. She deserves to get a good night's sleep. I'd rather be uncomfortable on the couch and let her get a night's sleep. Well, sometimes if I wake up, I'll go in the bedroom, go to sleep after she's going to work. I don't want her being tired because I kept her up because I'm snoring. That's not right. But anyway, he'll come and he'll run, and I'll be sound asleep. All of a sudden, I'll just hear his little feet, and then you won't hear nothing. And it just because he's jumping, and he'll land on top of me, and then he's all over my face, and he's not attacking. He's not doing nothing vicious. He just wants love. He just wants attention. When he wants attention, he's going to get attention. When he doesn't, he won't move. I don't care. I could hold food. That little shit is not moving. So that's where I've been. That's what I've been doing. I'm sorry for the listeners that know me. And I know it's going to take a while to get everybody back. But, life throws you curveballs. And you got to deal with them. So, one of the recent issues that really boiled my blood, and anybody that's listened to me before, back in my day when I had the show, and just so everybody knows, I'll be streaming on YouTube, Facebook through SHR Media, Facebook through Jersey Joe. Supposed to be on Rumble, but it doesn't look like it uploaded, so there was an issue there. I don't know what happened, but I didn't go live on Rumble. I'll figure that out, and I'll work it out, and I'll get it up and running. But I'll be doing those 5. And what really, really, outside of the elections coming up, the primaries pissed me off. Nikki Haley is she's another one. She's not a Republican. She is a Democrat. She had Democrat backing. She had a majority of votes for either independent or from Democrats. I actually had one of my relatives. Oh, you're watching too much Fox. Please, don't come at me with that crap. I don't even watch Fox. Fox is the same as CNN, MSNBC, and all the big box mainstream media. They're corporations. And I've said this for years. They're corporations. They got to make their money. So they will. I'm not going to say they all lie. They do. CNN. If it wasn't for lies, they would have nothing to say. Same with MSNBC. Holy shit. And if we got time, we'll go for one of their big whoppers again. They got to get viewers coming in for the sponsors. Otherwise, they're not going to make their money. So I scour the internet. That's what I do. And that's why one of the reasons I also am not right now. I'm not going to be doing. I'm only going to be doing the show. I know today's Friday, but I might change it. I don't know because I know there's some other big time shows that actually I like to watch. The Expert. I've been watching MG Law. The DUI guy. And I'll get into that whole case that they're going over that I've been very interested in with What the Hales. It's been a very interesting watch. At first, it was just entertaining between two neighbors being pissed off at each other, pulling shit. And yes, I do think one's causing all the issues over the other. But now it's turned into a whole judge issue. A judge overstepping his boundaries. Judge, I want to say, making illegal decisions on the bench. Well, we'll go over that possibly later on today or another time. But I've been watching those guys. Shizzy Wizzy. There's a Nick. He's from Sweden. And Baker. I'm trying to remember them all. There's a bunch from that go on these shows. They also got me, watching them and listening, and it got me going again. That I was like, I got to rebuild the computer. We can make it stronger. We can make it better. And that's the other thing that was the holdup. I probably would have been back several months ago, but my computer went. Anyway, I even got a little something for you. Let's see. What did the computer do? I did have it up. Wait a minute. That's my computer did. Took a big shit on me. I went through two computers in 2-3 months. It's Florida. Electricity goes in and out with the storms. Power goes off for a split second, comes back on. And I've talked about it before. Those negative spikes are worse than the positive spikes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, when you get like a lightning strike, you'll get a high voltage coming through your house sometimes. That's a positive spike. Well, that's what I call it. When you lose power for those brief moments, it doesn't even shut stuff off all the time. It just drops the voltage for a split second. Well, that will fry out circuits quicker than shit because the voltage drops down, then goes back to normal. And you won't know. That could happen like 6 months ago. And one little capacitor or resistor will go in the computer. And then months later, it just starts multiplying till the computer's dead.
Emotional damage.
I'm having fun with the buttons. So, I had to get the money up, build a new computer. So, as I was saying, besides the politics, which we're going to get into, probably going to do the show. I might change to Thursday night. I don't know. I still got to figure it out. My weeks, my nights are open pretty much. I could do any night. I'm probably just going to do one night right now. But I know me. I'm going to expand it. But let's start out with one night. And the one that, as I originally started talking about, that really pissed me off was Facebook. And there was let me make sure, a post. And we all know the crap that Facebook does. Here, let me pull up the little meme. That's all it was. Just a little meme. And it talks about how what is it, 1960s. They said the oil's going to be gone in 10 years. 1970s, it was that another ice age is going to be here in 10 years. In the 80s, it was acid rain will destroy all the crops in 10 years. 1990s, the ozone layer will be destroyed in 10 years. In 2000s, the ice caps will be gone in 10 years. There's always been these mass extinction predictions, and there's been more of them besides this. I've seen 2 or 3 different times that they talked about New York is going to be underwater. New York is going to be underwater. Oh, my God, New York's going to be underwater. Guess what? Let me see what I can do with this. New York is not underwater, is it? The polar ice caps are still there. Polar bears are still around. And stop the shit. Yes, we got to be cautious. We got to protect the environment. Yes, I understand that. We got to protect the animals. But animals have been going extinct for millions of years on this planet. Sometimes we've had our hand in it. But people act like, oh my God, we're this invader on this planet. We're not. We're part of this planet. Animals have caused other animals to get extinct, so forth and so on. But these predictions have been put up. Well, Facebook started dinging me for it and saying, no scientist has ever said that. Really? For number one, nowhere in there does it say scientists predicted. Talked about how mainstream media, politicians, but it's Facebook's quote unquote fact checkers shit the bed on this one. For those that don't know, I'm called Jersey Joe for a reason. I may live in Florida. I love Florida. I don't want to go anywhere besides Florida. I love my freedom. I love my guns. I love that I don't have a government up my ass like New Jersey. Especially now, the shit that's going on in New Jersey. Holy crap. I would never want to be back up there again. Ever, 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 ever. No, you couldn't pay me enough to go back up there. Oh, shit, I lost track of my own thought. But I'm from Jersey. I speak my mind. I'm rude, crude, and obnoxious, and I know it. I've mellowed in my old age. I'm the Jersey Joe, my 20s or 30s. I'm mellow. I'm in my 50s now. I'm mellowing out. But still, I'm going to say what I think, and I think what I say. And at Facebook, YouTube, you don't like it? Oh, well. I've never got paid. I did the show for, I think I started 2012, and I ran up to 2020. Never once did I get a red cent. Not a cent. I spent a lot of money. Spent a lot of my wife's money. Spent a lot of my money. Spent, from my parents. Helped me. Yes, I had parents that helped me. Buying equipment and so forth, software. It costs money. I don't never, ever, ever have gotten a dime. So, shit, I turned down, Arizona is, I don't know if it still is. I was told it was one of the top conservative radio stations out there. They wanted me on it. I got an email asking me to be on it. I had to get sponsorship and all that. I don't know how to get sponsorship. I've never done it. Probably never will. I don't know how to do that crap. But if I did, I could have been on the radio. I'm not. But, here I am. So I speak my mind. So the shit they're trying to say, oh, there's no scientific, no scientist said this and that and that. Fuck you, Facebook. Because guess what? I got searching. You got me off my ass, and you got me looking. Ooh, what's going on? There we go. And here, let me pull this up. I'm still trying to get used to this software, so please bear with me a little bit. Here, I'll put this up on the screen by itself. Oh. The heck? Sound like my 3D printer just turned on. All right. So here's the article. And basically, today it's global warming. In the 70s, it was a coming ice age. On Earth Day, we commonly hear dark predictions about looming horrors of global warming. A typical example, what is at stake, is our ability to live on planet Earth. Quote from Al Gore. Yet not so long ago, the news media issued dire warnings about global cooling and a coming ice age. Now, what it does is, Let's see. Science News from November 15th, 1969. The Earth's cooling climate. Science News. And who would be in those articles? Who would that be for? I don't think that'd be for your everyday Joe Schmo. What I think that would be for, trying to get situated, is scientists. Would it not? Sorry, I'm looking, making sure everything's good. There's that one. Sorry. I just got everything up and running, so I'm also, as I'm talking about this, trying to take a look, make sure. I don't know if I'm broadcasting on that one either. Says I should be. All right. Sorry about that. Simple Mind, Simply Amused. And that Science News, I'm pretty sure it's for scientists. Well, I'm sure other people can read it. Let's see. The next one. Colder winters held dawn of new ice age. Washington Post, January 11th, 1970. Time magazine from January 24th, 1974. Science. Another ice age. Science News again. March 4th, 1975. The ice age cometh. The Cooling World. Newsweek, April 28th, 1979. Scientists ask why world climate is changing. Major cooling may be ahead. New York Times, May 21st, 1975. Where was it? In the grip of a new ice age, international wildlife, July through August 1975. A major cooling widely considered to be inevitable. New York Times, September 14th, 1975. Variation in Earth's orbit. Pacemaker of the Ice Ages. Science Magazine, December 10th, 1976. Now, what does that look like to you? That looks like some scientists and some science articles talking about global cooling. Now, I remember all this was taught in school. I remember we had to change our hairspray because of the ozone layer. We'll get back to that article in a minute. You know, the ozone layer was going. Now you never hear about it, but I've seen a couple articles from scientists that say that it's repaired itself. Which, I'm sorry, the Earth's been around millions of years. It can fix itself. I don't think a couple ants like us are going to hurt it. Let's see what else in this article. We aren't that significant. Can we destroy this planet? Yes, we can. But the analogy I've used in the past, and it rings true still to this day, what a lot of these nut job global warming, climate change, whatever the new buzzword is, don't cut your nose off to spite your face. In other words, we need to be careful. I've said that. But what they want to do is ridiculous. Especially this. Don't even get me started on the electric vehicles right now. Holy shit. Listen, I have no problems with electrical vehicles. You want to buy an electrical vehicle? Go right ahead. Would I like to see the technology advance? Yeah, I know they got to sell them. They got to be around. But the shit that how should I put it nicely? Oh, come on, where is it?
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
That dumbass trying to force everybody to buy.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Ah, you racist bastard. He's trying to force us to buy them. And that's where I have the issue. That technology is there. I personally like the hydrogen vehicles that are going about. Look at the emissions that are coming off of, what is it, water? Oh, holy God, no. And I'm getting tired of this. Well, this is happening in this area, and this is happening. The planet has changed. I was actually watching this documentary about, I think it was the Sahara Desert. And, what is the nickname? Let me see if I can find it. Look it up real quick. Nickname. The Sea of Sand. Because you will find fossils and bones of whales in those sand dunes. Why? Because it used to be underwater. They're taking a look at Antarctic. Might have been at one time a lush jungle. The planet changes. We have a slight wobble to the Earth, which means we're going to get closer, further to the sun. Certain areas are going to get closer, certain ones. It's going to happen over time. And we're going to have a change in our climate. Listen, I know everybody, well, you're not no scientist. No, but I got what's called common sense. And I could see and read articles where scientists, geologists have talked for years about how the climate's changed. It's called Mother Nature. She does what she wants. And what's even funnier is our carbon dioxide levels have been like 1,000 times higher before man was even around. So how is it so high if man is what causes it? And what's scary is they're trying to drop it even more than we are right now, which is... I can't remember off the top of my head. I didn't pull that up. Sorry. I think... Anyway, if we drop too much lower, all plant life on the world will cease to exist. Why? Because plants feed off of carbon dioxide and they give us oxygen. So when we get these little elevated carbon dioxide levels, what happens? We have a mass explosion in growth of wildlife. Not wildlife, the plant life. Sorry. And then you have these idiots, what is in Australia? They cut down a bunch of these goddamn trees to put in solar panel to combat global warming and carbon dioxide levels. They cut down the fucking things that filter carbon dioxide and turn it into oxygen. And they put a bunch of sheets of glass in them. Do you know how moronic that is? Now, again, I'm not saying solar power's bad. I ain't saying that. But to chop down a goddamn forest. And I've seen it here in Florida where we've chopped down swamp areas, forest, to put in solar panels. That's the stupidest thing I've seen. Listen, the problem that we have, and I did a show on it years ago, and the International Organization on Climate Change, I think, what is it, the IOACC or something like that, one of their heads resigned for one specific reason. Because it had become too politicized Politics got involved too much. Politicians got involved too much. And they muddied the water and turned it to being about money. All global warming now is climate change, whatever the hell you want to call it. All it is a redistribution of wealth. That's all it's about. Nothing more, nothing less. For them to take our money and get it in their pockets. Al Gore has made so much money off of this propaganda that he spewed over the decades. It's sickening. I've been listening to this my whole life. I've listened to how New York's supposed to be underwater. And now the predictions are they're taking it out of the reach of our generations. And they're predicting it 100 years from now. How many times have you heard that the polar bears are supposed to be drowning? Because there's not supposed to be any more ice. Same amount of ice. Antarctic's had some record amount of ice. Just recently, there was an expedition to Antarctic to study the receding ice. And they got trapped and had to be rescued because their ship got trapped in a record amount of ice that encapsulated their ship, and they couldn't go anywhere. So they had to wait to get rescued because there was too much ice. And they still, oh no, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. You always hear, oh, it's the hottest day ever. You know, you'll see those big headlines that mainstream media loves to do. They love to run these big articles. But what they don't do is a couple months from now, they'll turn around and go, oops, someone forgot to carry the one, or that sensor, well, yeah, it's been malfunctioning for years now, and we didn't take that into effect. It was reading 1 billion goddamn degrees in this one section of the ocean, so we were showing how it elevated the temperatures of the world. And it was just a bad sensor. That article's like size of an ant. Because they don't want you knowing about that. They don't want you knowing that. Oh, we fucked up. We gave the wrong information. Oh, doggy, we did the wrong thing. Idiots. Coffee. And it's going back to Facebook. I know you ain't going to listen to me. You don't listen to anybody because Zuckerberg thinks he knows it all. Zuckerberg, you're a fucking asshole. You're a dumbass. You stole somebody else's idea to make money. That's your big idea. You stole somebody else's idea. Your fact checkers aren't fact checking. They're spreading propaganda. You've gotten caught with your hand in the cookie jar. Your fact checkers have gotten caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and you don't correct it. You have a solid bias that leans more than the Tower of Pisa to the left. Listen, I use your shit software. It keeps me in touch with some people I know. Yeah, I get to see some funny memes, funny videos. I get to see videos like this. Let me share this one. I love this one.
Campaign, you can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
Wait, was that a Democrat saying that the election was stolen from them? Was that an election denier? I'm shocked. I'm flabbergasted. say it ain't so.
How can you win with Russian interference, though?
That's
what
real
I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
He's an
Now think about it. We got a president that's been arrested, charged. He's got court dates. People have gone to jail for saying that the 2020 election was rigged. Democrats have been doing that for decades. They've been crying about rigged elections. And this is where the Republicans are a bunch of pussies. They've allowed the January 6th political prisoners to be locked up in cells. Still haven't seen trials. The charges that have been leveled against them weren't even correct charges, and the judges are so corrupt anymore, especially out of Washington, D.C. and so forth. They're so fucking corrupt. It's not funny. There's two tiers of justice. There's what the Democrats get and what everybody else gets. And we've seen it. Oh, who the hell is that jackass out of New York that just got kicked out of Congress? Oh. Let's see. George Santos. And listen, this is not a dig on my in-laws. I love my in-laws. I do. I really do. And I think it was last time my mother-in-law was down. She was asking me what I thought about Santos and the lies that he told to get elected. Listen, if that's how you want to throw him out, that's fine. He had charges pending against him. That's fine. I don't 100% agree. But if that's what you're going to do, hold everybody to the same fucking standard. You have a president right now that has lied nonstop. If anybody remembers, I think it was in the 80s, he had to leave the presidential race. He was running for president back then. He had to leave because he lied about his college. He lied about where he graduated in his class. His scholarships, everything. He lied about it. Sorry. And you got that jackass from New Jersey. It's on the tip of my tongue. Mendez. The Democrats haven't pushed for him to be expelled, have they? Oh, they pushed for Santos to get expelled. They've made excuses for Mendez. Even though I just saw Mendez may, he's not going to run again as a Democrat. He's probably going to go independent. That still doesn't change the fact. He has charges, major charges against him. Bribery. I believe some tax evasion in there. But that's okay. We'll ignore that one, won't we, Democrats? We'll ignore that. Here's the thing. I seen rules for radicals, 13 rules. And one of them is you hold your opponent to a higher standard. Part of that, though, is you're not supposed to go off the reservation. You're supposed to be held to that standard, too. And you're not. You're a bunch of hypocrites. But what do you expect? You also got, Congressman, damn, the names are just slipping out of my head. The one that slept with a Chinese spy. Hang on. Swalwell, my dad used to call him. He slept with a Chinese spy. And he still has his seat. And if I remember right, he got kicked off his committees and he cried about it. Same with shithead Schiff. That guy cost Americans millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from his lies. Russia. I got proof. You ain't got shit but lies. And you still run your mouth. What's scary is California. You might elect him as a senator now. Are you that fucked up in the head you would elect that dumbass? Are you people buying that Kool-Aid that much? Listen, I don't agree with everything with Manchin, but I like Manchin. Let's say I have respect for him. I don't agree with everything he's on. I definitely don't agree with his gun stance. But I can respect him and disagree with some of his stances. I can respect it. I've seen where he's tried to work with Republicans. He doesn't always lockstep with Democrats, and that's why he's not in the party, going to be in the party anymore, but then you got Extreme Hakeem screaming about radicals, the extreme MAGA. Every time you cry your liberal tears about extreme MAGA, you make me want to put up another Trump flag. You think it's an insult. It's a goddamn badge. And that idiot, he is an original election denier. He was crying away, Trump's not a legitimate president. Russia interfered. And they still go on with Russia. Russia. Damn. Jan Brady syndrome. Hey, let's get back to this video for a little bit. I'm going way off topic on a lot of stuff. How I went from the climate change over to this now, but hey, because this video is 3 minutes, I'm just going to run it through and pay attention.
Illegitimate president, in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
Russia interfered with our election, attacked our democracy for the sole purpose of artificially placing someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They were successful.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. I want to welcome back David Brody. David, that was just one of 24 minutes of Democrats denying election results. In fact, every single Democrat president, in fact, since 1977, has questioned the legitimacy of U.S. elections. This, according to the Republican National Committee. So why do so many people suddenly seem not to care when a Democrat says something like that? And yet, if you even as much associate with Trump or ask for a phone number, you could be charged.
Yeah, well, it's a great question. And I think there's a simple answer. We not only have a two-tiered system of justice, we have a two-tiered media system that is clearly prejudiced against conservative, patriotic, Americans who are independent and critical thinkers. And that is a long line, but it's true. I mean, I didn't say conservative Americans because there are a lot of conservative Americans that are also sheep in this country that will just go along with whatever it is, whatever the company line is. But there are independent thinkers, the MAGA audience, the patriotic audience, this audience that understands the real deal. And, you know, Miranda, you talk about the 24 minutes of videotape. And, of course, I'm sure they could string together a whole lot more. But you're right. This has been going on for a very long time. Here's one instance well, there's so many instances. But let me just bring up 2004. I mean, John Kerry lost to George W. Bush. But at the time, Democrats on the far left, Howard Dean at the Democratic National Committee, all of the big top Democrats were not only complaining, but saying that the election was rigged and stolen in Ohio. They questioned the voting machines. There was a documentary made on it, Miranda. HBO, we should do this in the show tomorrow. I've got the
We
clips.
should.
I've got the evidence. I've got the tape. I've got the receipts.
You've got the proof. You've got the truth.
I got it. Now I feel like Gotti. But anyhow, look, there was a documentary put out by HBO called Hacking Democracy. It was nominated for an Emmy to expose some of the problems with voting machines and how the election is not secure in America. That was in 2004 by HBO, the liberals. And that got an Emmy Award or a nomination for an Emmy Award. But Donald Trump and others want to talk about that now. And no, you're thrown in jail. And that's the difference, Miranda.
Oh, that is exactly what's been going on. And I'm hoping I just didn't have my friggin' mic muted the whole time. I really hope so. Hope it wasn't. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a real dumbass on this show. Ugh, crap. I got to see if that is actually what I did. It's been a while. I'm about to whoop somebody's ass. All right, bear with me. Be hear an echo. Like I said, I'm going to just check something real quick. All right. Looks like I didn't mute myself. Like I said, I'm trying to get used to the software. And this mixer is not doing that great. Red Bull gives you burps. It's absolutely disgusting what I see going on out there. And to get back on the climate change issue, because we're going to get a couple more minutes. Let's see. Let's bring this article up. Climate change data is based on fraud, and scientists around the world are pushing back against against the narrative. In an attempt to save the world from climate change, the United States government is spending trillions of dollars on multiple projects that rely on dishonest marketing tactics, money laundering schemes, insider trading, and crony capitalism. At the root of the climate crisis hysteria is data fraud, something I talked about earlier. And scientists around the world are pushing back against the climate change narrative. And here's the problem. If you speak out against it as a scientist, you're going to be attacked to the point that you're going to probably lose your job. They don't want opposition. Oh, what just popped up? And one of the things I really, really dislike is the science is settled. That is the most. I got to watch what I say there because I know people get upset on that one. No, helmet wearing, window licking, retarded statement of the year. If I ever heard one, and listen, I'm not picking on mentally handicapped, physically handicapped people. There's a difference. These people choose to be retarded. They choose to make these stupid decisions. The information's out there. They just want to be spoon-fed information and don't care to look that information up. And that's when you hear me say window licking, helmet wearing retards. I'm not talking handicapped at all. Those people, not those people. That'll get me in trouble. Oh my God, you said those people. That classification, people. I actually find they're heroes. They challenged. They have a rough life, but yet they power through it. Most of them don't give a shit. They are who they are, and they do what they do. But these people that buy into the science is settled. If we actually listen to that, we would think that the world is flat. Speaking about that, so Facebook says that they want to stop fake information, faulty information, misinformation. We got to stop that. They allowed flat earth pages on Facebook where people actually argue and say the world is flat. And Zuckerberg, that little cocksucker. Side note, if you notice, I don't give a shit about monetization because if I did, I wouldn't be cursing because Facebook won't give me monetization. Well, I don't have the numbers for it right now either, but you know what I mean. I don't give a shit. I'm here to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm here to talk about my views. I'm not here to try to convince anybody. I'm here to talk to people that may agree. Disagree? That's fine. You want to voice your opinion? That's fine. I'm not going to argue with you over it. You have a right to your dumbass opinions. And I have a right to my information. And these window lickers, they just, the science is settled. The world, Earth is the center of the universe. The world is flat. If you sailed that way, your ship would fall off the edge. There's dragons. There was dragons. There's an actual doorway that you can find in Greece that'll take you to hell. And the list can go on and on and on and on. But I'm not going to go on with it because they're idiots that still think this way. And as I said at the beginning of this show, just because I don't buy into the global warming, climate change, propaganda, fucking bullshit, doesn't mean I don't believe that we shouldn't protect the planet. That we shouldn't be cautious with what we do. There's one thing to be cautious and protect and be conservative. And that's sort of, I'm going to give a local issue that's going on here in Florida that pisses me right off. I like fishing. I love to fish. I love to go to a Skyway fishing pier. For whatever reason, there's a group of friends of pelicans. Ugh. I used to have an EMS partner that was Peliquin. And for years, I called him Pelican. And I got so used to saying Peliquin. Now, when I talk about pelicans, I say Peliquin. Mark, you an asshole. Friends of pelicans. And they tried to get the fishing pier shut down. Then they tried to get them shut down at night, which would have pissed me right off. Because that's when I go. I go night. I'm a night person. I don't want my fat ass out in the sun. I'm going to sweat, and I'm going to sweat like a stuck pig. But I like my fishing. And I have been fishing there for a while now, long time. I think 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. And I've never hooked a pelican. Never. I've had some fly into my line. Watch my line go. Makes you jump up and you think you got something big on your line. But they bitched and moaned and presented faulty data. Outright lies. They were out feeding these birds, causing these birds to come in larger amount, even though it's highly illegal. And the state of Florida did shit about it. What is that? FWC, Florida Wildlife. Whatever. FWC did jack shit to these people. They bought into it. And then they put in these regulations from November 15th to March 15th. You can't use a sabiki rig or a multi-hook rig. Now, sabiki rig, it's about 2 feet long. And it's got these little, like size 6 hooks is what I use. All right, size 6 is about 1/8, quarter inch on the large side. I think closer to 1/8 inch. And it's got like maybe a 5-pound test line on it. It's meant to catch bait fish, pinfish, grunts, small. You know, the bait fish that the bigger fish eat. Well, it got banned basically November to March. You also have to take this stupid online class. It's like a half hour watching some stupid videos that has really nothing to do with anything, and it's not stopping anything that was going on. It's not changing anything. All you did is pissed off a bunch of people that don't, and it only affects the Skyway fishing pier. Nowhere else in Florida do you have to worry about this stupid certification. They have to take once a year. Yeah, I know it's free. I don't give a shit. It's stupid. It's useless. They gave in to a bunch of loudmouth minority with faulty data. And that is what's going on with climate change. It's not facts. It's not the majority. It's who screams the loudest anymore. And I want to go in more on the Skyway fishing pier another night. Listen, I'm glad to be back. I look forward to doing more shows. Hey, I already one night a week's not going to cut it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up for tonight. Don't want to push it too far. Also, not used to this damn chair anymore. So my neck and back are killing me right now. That's my issue, not yours. But what we're going to do, we're going to head off. I'm going to go. I'm going to figure out why Rumble didn't load up. I'm going to look over the information that we went over. I mean, I still have other stuff on the global warming. We'll talk more on it. This ain't done. We got to get into the Trump shit. I wanted to get into the bloodbath crap that went on. He said bloodbath. It is so bad that Google has changed the definition of bloodbath. Or I should say they blocked. And they don't expose all the definitions of bloodbath. And one of the definitions of bloodbath is basically an economical downturn. An economical crash. And that's exactly what Trump was talking about when he said bloodbath. But you get Pelosi going, that's not what he meant. I know what he meant. That's not. I know he said this, but that's not. Now they're trying to, the content in this, and they're trying to backtrack on it. And it's not the first time that they pulled this shit. And what's funny is if you listen to Biden, the witch Pelosi, Schumer, man, that guy just hates his own religion. But they've all said bloodbath. They've tried it before. I forget what Trump said something years ago. Oh my God! And it makes them stronger. And if you look, and I said it during 2015, 2016, before he got elected. If they would have left that man alone, he had like a 1% chance or 1% following when he first announced his primary. It was something low like that. He was almost in last place. They attacked him. His numbers went up. He responded. His numbers went up. So they attacked him. His number went up. He responded. His numbers went up. And what is happening now? They're arresting the man, and his numbers are going up. They arrest him, his numbers go up. They attack him, his numbers go up. You would think these dumbasses who are supposed to be so fucking smart because you got to have a college education. You got to have a college degree. You got to go to school. Yeah, what did you learn, dumbasses? Nothing, because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. You're expecting a different outcome, and you keep getting the same outcome. You're making them stronger. And I said it during the 2020 election. Trump was not out there. They're coming after me like he did in 2016 and like what he's doing for 2024. He was a little bit more subdued. He was trying to be a milder Trump. And that hurt him. Oh, all the lies too, but now he's out there full force and having them arrested, charged. And what's happened to those charges? And don't give me the 2 friggin' civil cases. Because the one in New York's an absolute joke and will get overturned. Just as I'm pretty sure that lawsuit from, I can't remember her name. Attorney's already said, don't start spending that money. This is going to get overturned. They picked certain courts because they knew they can get a corrupt, liberal, political judge. And that's what they do. And that's what they're doing in Washington, D.C. to these political prisoners of January 6th. And that's what they are. And let me tell you something. I don't know why their attorneys haven't come up and said, Declaration of Independence says we have the right. We had the right to go in there. We have the right to throw the government. It's in the Declaration of Independence. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And then I got to get going. To quote, I think it's the preamble to the Constitution, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall most likely to affect their safety and happiness. There was no insurrection. There was a peaceful protest that they instigated to rile them up and then opened the doors and invited them in and are now charging people. I've seen the videos. Yes, there was some unruly actors in there. Yes. But majority, 95 or more percent, were peaceful protesters. I watched the police give escorts. They didn't look scared to me. Oh, look at this. Yeah, hi, shaking hands. They're political prisoners. And the left needs to learn one thing, the actual definition of fascism. Because they're sure as hell practicing it, even though they keep screaming, because somewhere in one definition it says on the right. Well, guess what? The left is practicing fascism. You're locking up political opponents. You're locking up people with a different political opinion. And that's exactly what Joe Biden and the Democrats are doing. And they're destroying this country. Listen, I'll definitely be back next week. I don't know what day. I'll post it on YouTube. I'll post it on Facebook. I'll post it on Twitter. Worst case, it will be Friday, 9 p.m. But I have a funny feeling it's going to change, and we're going to get out a little bit sooner. Till then, peace, and thank you very much. Now, why isn't that?